from the great legacy of Dravidian civilization. The proponents of Hindutva ideology have this question: who is an Indian and who is not? V.D. Savarkar came up with the answer many years ago. A loyal Indian is one who is attached to the geography of India, who is born in India and whose religion has indigenous roots. A Hindu means a person who regards this land from the Indus to the seas as his fatherland and as well as his holy land. But let me remind this House of the words of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, a Congress leader who you seem to have taken over and invoke frequently. In 1947, when it was suggested to him that India should be declared as a Hindu state, Sardar Patel replied, "We must not forget that there are, quote, that there are other minorities whose protection is our primary responsibility." In 1950, he stated, "Ours is a secular state." I like to underline, he said that ours is a secular state, and we cannot fashion our politics in the way of Pakistan is doing. Here, every Muslim should feel that he is an Indian citizen and has equal rights as an Indian. The government celebrates Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. It disregards most of his fundamental principles. If you truly respect him, please protect every citizen, honor every culture, and stop selective imposition of one ideology over the rest. Building a 3,000 crore statue of unity is not paying respect to him. Please understand his words and implement it. That is true tribute to any leader. But this government ensures in every possible way that the minorities of this country do not feel comfortable. They are kept on edge and feel like outsiders. The CAA, Triple Talaq, the Work Board Bill, the Uniform Civil Code, mob lynching and state excesses are the unending examples of how you push the minorities and make them feel threatened. In August 2019, this government revoked the autonomy of Kashmir, the only Muslim majority state in India, and made it a union territory. Around the same time, you passed a new amendment to the anti-terror law. This amendment ensured and gave you the right to classify individuals as terrorists and promoters of terrorism. And under this law, hundreds of Kashmiri politicians, activists were jailed, civil liberties were suspended, and protests banned. A few months later, the CAA, this provided a fast track to citizenship for many minority communities. The law specified that communities which could use this law were Buddhists, Christians, Hindus, Jains, Parsis, and Sikhs. These communities made it to the list, but the Muslims were omitted despite their presence in countries where they are minorities and have been persecuted and have even suffered violent attacks. And in many of the BJP-ruled states, you've coined a term, love jihad, where adult men and women are not allowed to get married to each other because they belong to different religious groups. And your reasoning is that Hindus will become a minority in this country. India has 14% Muslim population and almost 80% Hindu population. Creating false narratives like this is your way of politics. But at least let people, individuals who have the right to make a personal choice in their private lives. Let them live a life. And we've seen in most of the BJP-ruled states, mobs assault minorities while the police stand idle. I can't even say mobs assault them because in some states the authorities themselves bulldoze Muslim homes and businesses, and lynchings cannot become widespread without atmosphere of impunity which you are ready to give. Attack on civil society groups are surging. Any voice of dissent is called anti-national. In November 2021, the National Security Advisor, Ajit Doval, told the graduating class of the National Police Academy in Hyderabad, the new frontiers of war is the civil society. The National Security Advisor tells the National Police Academy in Hyderabad that the new frontiers of war is the civil society. Since 2015, close to 17,000 civil society organizations have been denied registration or renewal. Next, the Christian NGOs are disproportionately losing their FCRA licenses. Out of the 2,257 NGOs who've lost their FCRA licenses, 1,626 are affiliated with Christian social programs. This is a targeted financial stranglehold on organizations that serve the India's most vulnerable population. The Christian community, which constitutes around 11.54% of the total religious population, operates 72% of all religious minority schools in India, and over 5,000 hospitals in rural places. But still, you do not want them to help the marginalized, the underprivileged. Attacks on Christian organizations and churches have escalated over the years, with Uttar Pradesh emerging as the hotspot.
சிறுபான்மையினர் மீது பாரதிய ஜனதா கட்சி அரசு தாக்குதல் நடத்துவதாக குறிப்பிட்ட MP கனிமொழி, இந்தியாவில் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒவ்வொரு இஸ்லாமியரும் நாட்டின் குடிமகன் என சமமாக உணர வேண்டும் என்றும் தெரிவித்தார். அது மட்டுமின்றி பல்வேறு சட்டங்களை பட்டியலிட்டு இதுபோன்ற சட்டங்கள் அந்நியர்கள் போல அவர்களை உணர வைக்கக்கூடியவையாக இருக்கிறது என்று குறிப்பிட்டார். இது மட்டுமின்றி பல்வேறு விஷயங்களையும் அவர் பகிர்ந்து கொண்டார். செய்திகளில் அடுத்து வருவது, இணையத்தில் 1 கோடிக்கும் அதிகமான பார்வைகளை கடந்த பாடல்.